Hello, I'm Cody the Coin Raptor, and welcome to my channel. I'm here to talk to you about Crypto Chart TA, starting with our Bitcoin chart. So Bitcoin has had quite the move in the last 12 hours here. We see a huge fall all the way down here to about 18,200, then a massive bounce back up here to about 20,000, and then usually when you see moves like this where it comes down massively and then shoots back up again like that, you'll wind up seeing the price revert back to where it was or around where it was before this downwards move, right? It's kind of like a sine wave where you see it go down and then it go back up again. It's not perfect, but it's very similar here. So we saw it go from completely oversold to completely overbought, and now it's back in the middle of this range. Now, I said before on yesterday's video that I didn't believe that this pump here was actually going to continue, and I still don't believe that. I think that what happened here is, and I talked about this yesterday, is we saw a short squeeze up here, right? We're going to go ahead and take a look at the funding rate. We saw a short squeeze here, and then after this point right here, we had some advantageous longs get in and push the price a little bit higher. So looking at the funding rate, we can determine if the shorts are dominant or the longs are dominant here. And when the shorts immediately got liquidated, caused a short squeeze, the longs stepped in, and the longs right now are dominant. However, they're dominant in this declining price, right? And we've talked about that several times, and that the longs are, if they're getting dominant and they're increasing in numbers here, right, which we can see based on the price of the funding rate here, then we could be setting up for another bull trap. Okay, so that's entirely possible. But so we had the short squeeze happen here, and then we had long step in, and then we had a huge amount of selling pressure come in after that point because there is just no demand for buying Bitcoin up here at these prices at about 20,000 or so. And the reason for that is because everyone's looking at the same chart, and they can see the fact that Bitcoin is in a very strong downtrend right now that happened back since about the 15th of August, so about 2 months ago, right? And it's been in a very strong downtrend ever since the 15th of August. You have this descending triangle pattern playing out here where you have the very strong support down here at about 18,400, and then you have this decreasing descending angle here. And so what this means is largely that either Bitcoin will break through this descending line here, or it will break through the support. And so that's the whole point of drawing up this descending triangle. Eventually, you're gonna think either Bitcoin's gonna break out of this trend or it's going to break out of support. And I think that it's probably gonna wind up breaking down at this level here, at this strong support. And as I've said before, there is very little volume historically below this level, and there's very little support below this level. So I think that we're going to wind up seeing this happen sooner than later, probably within the next week or so. We're going to see it actually push right through the bottom of this support. And if it doesn't, and if it bounces off strongly, then I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that. We'll have a complete trend reversal, and we will go from there. But for now, what I'm reading on the charts is that it's going to pass through this support level. All right. Now for Ethereum, I actually put up a descending channel here, and it's not a perfect descending channel because it had a little bit of weird action down here, but oftentimes I just kind of like to get rid of some of the noise, and I think that's kind of noise when you look at it because the rest of the candles actually fit this pretty nicely. So with this descending channel here, you see that with Ethereum it's gonna keep moving lower and lower and lower. Right now we saw it bounce off this level at about 1173 here, and the descending channel is going to move past this point about 1153, and then lower and lower and lower until it gets about 1050, around that range or so. And Bitcoin, unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum has plenty of support down here, however, and we could wind up seeing supports first here at this 1243 level, which is something we've seen very strong support here at 1243, and then even below that at about 1,000 or so. And right now it's looking like Ethereum is heading down to these levels here at about 1,000. But again, we'll see what happens. I can only tell you what I can see off based on the chart here, and the macroeconomic picture for both Bitcoin and Ethereum are still very bearish. There is just not a lot of demand stepping in at these levels because there's just the market is not risk on. It's very risk off. And in order to see a risk on market, we'd have to definitely see the Fed either stop raising rates or cut the amount that they're raising rates. You'd have to see some sort of change, and not just the Fed raising rates, and then increasing how much they're raising rates, okay? So we take a look at our Binance Coin. Binance Coin is sideways. I think Binance Coin is still in the best position of the three here because there's not like a set descending pattern here. We can move this down a little bit where it's kind of like you have this sideways channel, or you can move it up a little bit. It doesn't really matter. Either way, it's kind of trapped between these two levels, and that's about 260 to about 305 or so. And it's been trading in this range ever since the 19th of August. So for now, expect this to kind of go sideways. But if Bitcoin really starts tanking, and I don't see why Binance Coin wouldn't follow it, just like it did back here, right? During June and during March, you had this huge downwards move, again following Bitcoin, and it's very possible it will also make a similar move from there. Look at the dollar index. Dollar index still very strong, right? Not really any news there. But one thing I want to go ahead and show you is the number of liquidations we've seen over the past couple of days. This is something I think that's really important to realize here because it contextualizes everything. And with Bitcoin's liquidations, we've seen here that the shorts got liquidated on the 12th to a tune of about $30 million, and the longs were liquidated to about $50 million. And then we look at the 13th, and that's $35 million shorts were liquidated, and $26 million longs were liquidated. And if you look at this and you look at the previous charts that I'm talking about, it all kind of makes sense because the funding rate shows the exact same picture where you have shorts getting liquidated first and then longs getting liquidated after that. And that's what we're seeing play out here. So this just kind of marks increased volatility that we've seen for the past couple of days because of the CPI print. And I don't expect this volatility is going to go down anytime soon because we have earnings, stock earnings, tech earnings next week and the week after that, and those can all move the market dramatically. All right, so that's something I definitely want you guys to pay attention to. I'm going to be putting out either a video or I will post it on Twitter, some of the more important tech names that the earnings we have to watch out for, because those earnings move the stock market and they move the NASDAQ, and that oftentimes impacts Bitcoin and crypto prices. All right. So that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like this content, let me know. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I would greatly appreciate that. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I hope to see you in the next video.